Now at 5, an escaped inmate is captured, but Ottawa County authorities are still searching for 2 more. Plus, Missouri's governor signs a new tax cut into law. And President Biden tours the damage left behind in Florida by Hurricane Ian.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities in Ottawa County have arrested a second inmate who escaped from the county jail yesterday. 2 are still on the run. This is your KOAM News at 5. I'm Jalen Banks. The Ottawa County Sheriff says the escaped inmates escaped through a door that had been left open for contractors working in one of the pod's rec yards. Officials say once the inmates got to the jail's north doors, they pushed the jailers out of the way and ran out the door. A detective captured one inmate, Rusty Reese, shortly after. Then this morning, officers recaptured a second inmate, Buck Martindale. They found him in a house by the Devil's Promenade. 2 others remain at large. They are Daniel Zajac and Tyler Tavis. Authorities say both should be considered armed and dangerous. And if you have any information, please call 911. Missouri Governor Mike Parson today signed into law the largest income tax cut in state history. The law makes several changes to the state tax code, including eliminating the bottom income tax bracket, meaning Missourians making $13,000 a year or less will not have to pay those taxes. Also, the first $1,000 all Missourians earn will be tax-free. You can find more information about the law on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The city of Caney, Kansas has been struggling with the log jam in their water source during a water emergency. Caney has been on a water emergency for almost a month now. They have been struggling to receive water from their main source, Little Caney River, due to a log jam. The city has successfully removed the logs with assistance from Montgomery County Public Works. Because of natural erosion, the city has to be on the lookout for future jams.
It would actually evaporate from sunlight and just sitting there in the air and the temperatures. And then the other thing, it would soak away. So we were losing a lot of water.
The city says if they don't get 3 to 4 inches of rain soon, they'll have to rely on other water sources. Southwest Missouri is experiencing an epidemic of deficiency in child care. KOAM, along with the Alliance of Southwest Missouri, over the next several weeks will be doing a series on child care. Today in our month-long child care series, a local daycare will speak about the challenges they face daily. We'll bring you the full story tonight on KOAM News at 6. And now our friend Doug Hetty joins us with the first look at the weather.
Well, it turned out to be a decent Wednesday once again for us today. A lot of clouds have been pushing through over the past several hours, and we're going to continue to have mostly cloudy skies as we go through the evening hours. Could even be a random sprinkle, but overall it still looks like a pretty good evening. We have a weak little system that is shifting through as we speak, and a weak little cold front that is working through. You can see it in our eastern counties all the way down into northeastern parts of Oklahoma. It's not cold behind it, but it's cooler, so we are going to cool off a little bit as we go into Thursday. For the evening, 82 by 6, 73 by 8, down 68 by 10, overnight low down to about 55 degrees a little bit later on tonight. We see a big change in temperatures over the next few days. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
President Biden is touring the destruction from Hurricane Ian, which hit Fort Myers hard in Florida. Just today, the president increased the level of disaster funding that extends coverage for debris removal and emergency protective measures for another 30 days. The president is also meeting with residents. Reporter Christian Benavidez is in Florida with more.
President Biden and the First Lady got a bird's eye view of Florida's disaster zone Wednesday, seeing just how much destruction Hurricane Ian brought to the southwest coast. Fort Myers, once a beachfront paradise, now unrecognizable. Back on land, the president was briefed on the recovery and response efforts. Florida officials say statewide they've distributed more than 34 million bottles of water and more than 9 million shelf-stable meals. President Biden is also meeting with residents and small business owners, pledging cooperation among all levels of government to help people. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, a vocal critic of the Biden administration, has praised the ongoing cooperation that began even before the storm.
We were fortunate the White House declared this very quickly.
Earlier, the governor announced the opening of a temporary bridge to Pine Island, cut off from the mainland since last week.
We wanted to make sure that they were not isolated or forced to even have to leave the island that they love.
Recovery centers and volunteers are providing supplies to struggling residents and encouraging others to get involved.
It's not what you have in your pockets. It is what you have in your heart.
FEMA's damage assessment is ongoing, but it could be one for the record books. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Fort Myers Beach, Florida.
Unfortunately, the death toll from Ian has risen to at least 108. The U.S. is stepping up its military presence around the North Korean peninsula after a North Korean missile test. The United States is moving an aircraft carrier off the east coast of the Korean peninsula in what's being called a very unusual move. South Korea said the move reinforces its alliance with the United States and sends a strong message of strength against North Korean threats. Still ahead, a safety feature not working as intended.
Automatic emergency braking is in most of today's new cars and can prevent accidents, but there are also limitations. I'm Danya Backus, and I'll have the results of a new study.
And next in Health Watch, a warning from doctors about the possible dangers to women's health from abortion bans. Topping today's Health Watch, paid parental leave may help prevent newborn deaths, according to a new study out of California. Researchers analyzed the state's then 6-week paid family leave plan from 2004 to 2008. They found that the extra time at home with the baby saved the lives of 339 infants during that time period. Some doctors are warning about the dangers for women's health now that Roe v. Wade has been overturned. That includes women facing cancer who can be impacted by the decision. Reporter Serena Marshall has more.
Diana Mock couldn't wait to share the news. She was expecting her second child, but at 11 weeks, doctors discovered she had acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
They told me that if I didn't start treatment really soon, that I would most likely have max 8 weeks to live.
A practicing Mormon, Diana faced terminating her pregnancy or jeopardizing her own health.
My doctors, they said, you don't have to have an abortion. However, if you start treatment, you will miscarry. And if you miscarry because of your medical situation, it could be fatal.
According to the Guttmacher Institute, 13 states are enforcing total abortion bans, while others are enforcing bans from 6 to 20 weeks. Dr. Shika Jain says she's concerned when a mother's life is in danger, what will qualify as a medical emergency.
It happens more often than you would think, where you're undergoing cancer treatment and you find out that you're pregnant. We're seeing physicians who are waiting for lawyers to tell them whether it's appropriate in order to decide what type of medical treatment to give these patients.
The Biden administration says it will vigorously protect women's rights to essential health care and that emergency medical care under federal law includes abortion services. But some states are challenging that in court. For Diana Mock, she chose to terminate the pregnancy.
I just had this overwhelming feeling that an abortion was the right decision and that I needed to make it in order to live.
And says the loss is never far from her heart. Serena Marshall, CBS News, Washington.
About 1 in 1,000 pregnant women are diagnosed with cancer, and that's according to the American Cancer Society. A new study finds antibiotic eye drops may be the best way to treat pink eye in children. The research published in the JAMA Network Open looked at cases of pink eye in children ages 6 months to 7 years. The children were treated with either antibiotic eye drops, placebo eye drops, or no drops at all. Those who received the antibiotics were cured within less than 4 days, compared to nearly 6 days until improvement for those without treatment. Well, that's a look at today's top health news. A little later, our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to talk about doing blood work on your pet.
Plus, it looks like cooler temperatures working in over the next few days. We'll look at that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice day for us today. A lot more clouds, but still, it turned out to be a pretty good Wednesday for us, and these clouds are going to be sticking around as we go through the evening hours. Maybe a sprinkle. That is just about it. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. We're at 83 in Neosho, 81 Nevada. We're at 84 in Chitopa, Miami at 82, a little bit cooler in Iola at 76 degrees as we have a weak little cold front that is shifting through the region. There's not a lot of cold air behind it. Temperatures just a little bit cooler, but this front is a stronger cold front, and that is going to roll in tomorrow night, and that will significantly drop our temperatures by the time we head into Friday and then going into the weekend. So a lot of clouds out there, but looks good. 7th and rangeline 83, west northwesterly winds at about 13. Humidity is low, 27%. Through the evening hours, 82 by 6. Of course, sun now sets before 7. Those evening daylight hours continue to shrink up. 73 by 8, 68 by 10 will bottom out right around 55 degrees later on tonight. Look at the clouds streaming through. Now where you see these brighter colors, the clouds are a little bit thicker, but we're not really seeing anything underneath the clouds, maybe a sprinkle or two, and that is just about it. As this system, you can see it spinning up through central parts of Iowa. That's what's dragging that front through, and then this wave's going to hang back out across southwestern parts of the U.S. as we go through the next several days and eventually try to shoot some moisture toward us as we go into the weekend. You can see that little spin down through parts of New Mexico. So it's kind of stuck out there for the next couple days. All right, let's go through time. These clouds start to break up later on tonight. So here's midnight, lower 60s, and then by morning, we drop back low to mid 50s. 53 in Lamar, 55 in Neosho, 56 in Parsons. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow, northerly winds. We're going to warm into the upper 70s by the noon hour, and then during the afternoon, mostly sunny skies. Most of us a little bit cooler than what we've seen the past couple days as we warm up into lower 80s during the afternoon. Secondary stronger front makes it in by Friday morning, so down into lower 50s. Friday afternoon, we'll start to get some clouds increasing, but look at our temps, upper 60s to lower 70s. As we get into Friday evening, Friday night, some thicker clouds, may get a random shower as we head into Saturday morning. Day planner for you tomorrow, 55 to start, 77 by noon, 82 by 5. High temperature is going to go into the lower 80s during the afternoon. 72 on Friday. As we get to Saturday, look at these temperatures, 73 on Saturday, which also looks fantastic. So the weekend is shaping up pretty good. Saturday into Sunday, we may get a few random showers in here. Slight chance Sunday, Monday, even into Tuesday, but our better shot is actually going to occur late Tuesday into Wednesday with better chances for showers and thunderstorms, but at least we have those chances in the forecast. Temperatures great, 77 Sunday, 79 on Monday, back into the mid-80s Tuesday and Wednesday.
I mean, I'll take those mid-80s as long as there's some precip coming down.
If we can get a little bit of rain, that would be fantastic.
But as far as that forecast as a whole,
that's pretty good.
All right, thank you, Doug. Coming up, what a new report shows about the reliability of automatic braking systems. But first, we honor a local veteran. Captain Derek Forst, a Lamar, Missouri native, served 2 tours, one in Iraq and the other in Afghanistan. He's earned a Bronze Star, an Air Medal, Combat Action Badge, and an Aviator Badge. To Captain Derek Forst, we thank you, our 4-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, gas could start getting more expensive again. OPEC is planning to slash oil production by 2 million barrels per day starting in November. It's the biggest cut since the start of the pandemic. The group of major oil producers says, and I quote, the move in light of uncertainty that surrounds the global economic and oil market outlooks. The White House calls it short-sighted. America's debt has now surpassed $31 trillion. New data from the Treasury Department shows the government went on a borrowing spree during the COVID-19 pandemic to keep the U.S. economy moving. Since 2020, outstanding debt climbed $8 trillion. U.S. economists say this could indicate a problem for the future. Technology. Now, in about 90% of new cars can hit the brakes even if the driver fails to. But according to a new report, it doesn't always work. Danya Backus reports.
Test video from AAA shows how automatic emergency braking can prevent a rear-end accident. The feature uses cameras and sensors to detect a vehicle.
And it will apply the brakes if the driver does not.
AAA's Megan McKernan was part of the research that tested vehicles from 4 automakers.
And we found at 30 miles an hour, 85% of the time the vehicle either came to a complete stop or significantly mitigated the speed.
But when the speed was increased to 40 miles per hour, the car stopped only 30% of the time. And when researchers looked at left-hand turns, every vehicle failed to stop. The same was true when the cars encountered another vehicle in an intersection. In every test, there was a crash.
Research has shown automatic braking not only struggles at higher speeds, but also in the dark.
The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety recently tested 23 vehicles approaching a pedestrian at night. Only 4 received a superior rating.
About half of the vehicles received either no credit or a basic credit rating, which is our bottom 2 ratings.
Despite the results, experts support the technology.
AAA is definitely an advocate of this feature, and we just want to see automakers continue to refine and improve the systems.
McKernan says it's important to remember these systems have limitations and drivers need to stay alert at all times. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Tech giant Apple is being accused of employee discrimination. The National Labor Relations Board has reportedly filed a complaint against the company, claiming it discriminated against employees at its World Trade Center store. The NLRB's complaint alleges that Apple wouldn't let workers put union flyers on a break room table, even though it allowed other solicitations and notices there. The investigation was spurred by charges filed in May by the Communication Workers of America. And our Pet Vet on Call next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, why the MLB is helping train a service dog for the first time ever. Then on the KOAM News at 6, we'll have more on the challenges facing Southwest Missouri child care providers, plus the latest efforts in Arkansas to raise pay for teachers. And we'll hear from the Missouri Southern Lions as they look to bounce back this weekend against Lincoln. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then the KOAM News at 6. For pet owners, knowing everything about your pet's health is important, but what kind of tests are necessary? Today's question for our Pet Vet on Call is this: what would be a reason my dog or cat would need blood work?
There are many. If it's a young pet or a healthy pet, it will give you a baseline data for future, God forbid if they ever get sick. If they're not feeling quite right, it can help us find and catch things early where they are treatable and maybe even curable. And if they're sick, it helps us to see on the inside what we can't see from the outside. So there's always more pros than cons to getting blood work labs done, and always normal results are never a waste of money.
And we invite questions from anyone. If you have one, just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Ava Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers different questions or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday on KOAM News at 5. Now, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. From the Joplin Humane Society, we've chosen this adult female domestic short-hair cat named Cheerio. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we have this male Husky Labrador mix named Hawk. And if you're looking for a pet, you should go ahead and check out your local Humane Society. Hawk, I like that name.
Yeah, and you can change them, make them any name you want.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, weather looks pretty good this evening. We are going to have a lot of clouds out there, but still a pretty good evening. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, 83, and then only 72 on Friday, 73 on Saturday, and then some rain chances start to sneak in Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and the best chance next Wednesday.
Yeah, those temps look great. And thank you for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. Of course, we'll see you right back here at KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.